Hi, this is Brian Kim. I'm going to share with you case number 294 in the best way to do cataract surgery series. And the title of this series is not to suggest this is the best and only way, but to get you to think critically of your technique so that you can provide the very best for your patient. And so this is a fairly standard dense cataract in my practice. This patient has a nice large pupil, and I'll be able to hopefully illustrate the technique of the double chop and cross chop maneuver and how I'm able to easily disassemble the lens in 3 pieces very quickly, leveraging manual fracturing forces and minimizing ultrasonic energy to achieve clear corneas postoperative day 1 and minimize corneal endothelial trauma. So I use a corneal marker which will help me to center and size the rhexis, and I make my paracentesis incision first on the right side and the left side, making sure I'm parallel to iris plane, which creates a nice corneal shelf, which will allow me to achieve a self-sealing incision. This is intracameral epinephrine, and then some dispersive viscoelastic to coat the corneal endothelium. And this is a triplanar corneal incision. I make a vertical groove, place the blade into the deep part of the groove, tunnel, and then I enter. I switch to the Moria microrhexis forceps with the cannula, the dispersive viscoelastic cannula holding the eye, which limits the Bell's reflex. I puncture the center of the capsule, pull down towards me, grabbing the right side of the tear, going around circumferentially. The cannula gives me great control of the eye as I'm performing the rhexis, and if suddenly I lose chamber stability, I can quickly push some more dispersive viscoelastic without any further intraocular manipulation. Finish off the rhexis, and this is the capsulorhexis hydrodissection technique. I place a cannula under the rhexis edge contra-incisionally, point the tip down, get a nice wave, lift the lens up, decompress the bag, pushing down on the left side and then the right side, and then the lens begins to spin. Irrigating the surface of the eye, adjusting my sleeve. And this is the Kim double chopper. It's a right-angled blunt tip chopper, a little bit longer than the average chopper. I lift the incision with the chopper, go in with irrigation off to minimize Descemet's trauma, removing the surface epinuclear material, sliding the chopper under the rhexis edge contra-incisionally, tilting the phaco-tip vertically sub-incisionally, grasping and gripping the lens and flanking the lens, bringing the instruments together and crushing the lens in half. That is double chop, sliding the chopper under the rhexis edge around the right heminucleus, pulling it centrally toward the phaco-tip and crushing the lens against the phaco-tip, and that is a cross chop. Using some vacuum to grasp that first quadrant, getting the chopper around the lens, crushing it in half, bisecting it, and then using manual forces to crush the lens into smaller and smaller pieces, and then carefully feathering the petal to use bursts of ultrasonic energy to remove the lens piece. Turning the lens to get around the second quadrant, hooking the lens around with the chopper, pulling it centrally toward the phaco-tip, fracturing the lens in half, lifting that fragment up with some vacuum, getting the chopper around it, using manual forces to crush the lens into smaller and smaller pieces, fluttering my foot pedal to very carefully and minimally use ultrasonic energy to remove the lens pieces. Rotating the lens, the second heminucleus in front of me, sliding the chopper under the rhexis edge again, flanking the lens, placing the phaco-tip deep, and then fracturing the lens in half with manual forces. Getting the chopper around the third quadrant, and similarly using the same maneuver, flanking the lens and then crushing it with manual forces, doing the same thing once again. Again, because I use these maneuvers so frequently, I'm able to do it so easily and repetitively and consistently. Once I get the chopper around the lens, I place the phaco-tip deep, and it's a matter of just flanking it and then crushing the lens with manual forces. By using manual forces, I minimize the use of ultrasonic energy. I'm able to loosen the lens pieces up, and then I'm able to very easily, with some vacuum, just grab those fragments up, getting the chopper around it, crushing the lens with manual forces, and then emulsifying the lens pieces. Doing the same thing with that fragment, using some vacuum to hold it, getting the chopper around it, crushing the lens with manual forces into smaller pieces, and then fluttering the petal to emulsify the lens pieces. Again, I always flutter the petal, and I don't go aggressively with ultrasonic energy, and this is why I'm able to achieve clear corneas and minimize endothelial trauma. Rotating that last piece around with the chopper, grabbing it with some vacuum, and then crushing the lens piece with manual forces, and then very slowly emulsifying the lens pieces. And so that's it. Carefully grasping the epinucleus from the anterior side, and the pieces start to tumble out of the eye. This last piece of epinucleus is stuck. Lift it up with some vacuum, and then it's out. So I take the chopper out, push BSS in, take the phaco tip out, and I go in with the INA handpiece. I always start subincisionally. I'm adjusting the sleeve. Try to grasp the cortical material from the anterior aspect in the subincisional area first, so I don't have any stuck subincisional wisps. So peeling, grasping large sheets, pulling towards the center. Grasping again anteriorly, holding it with some vacuum, and then pulling the pieces out. It's a combination of gripping the piece with the port and then manually teasing it out of the capsule fornix. And this is the final piece, cleaning it up. Polishing underneath the rhexis edge in polish mode. Pulsing BSS into the subincisional capsule fornix, which is clean. Pushing cohesive viscoelastic into the bag, but I have to turn off infusion first, so turn off infusion. Fill the bag with cohesive viscoelastic, and then sweep. So remember, there's no wasted time with the technique. If one hand is doing something, the other hand is doing something else, and I'm always in preparation and anticipation of the next step of surgery. And this is how you're able to streamline your technique, by always thinking a few steps ahead as you're doing the case. So again, sweeping and polishing under the rhexis edge on the left side and then the right side, switching back to the cohesive viscoelastic cannula. As I place the injector through the main incision, some viscoelastic comes out, so I push some more viscoelastic in with the cannula, advance the lens. Switching hands, I place the cannula through the main incision, disengaging the haptics off the optic, making sure both haptics are in the bag. This patient ended up off screen, so I just repositioned and centered myself, turning off infusion, going in the eye, turning on infusion, tilting the lens, removing the viscoelastic from within the bag, removing the viscoelastic from underneath the rhexis edge and positioning the lens, removing the viscoelastic from the anterior chamber, and then I'll hydrate my incision. So again, this is a patient with a fairly dense cataract. I would characterize it as around a 2 to 3 plus. This is a large pupil, which is great to illustrate my techniques. After I remove the surface epinuclear material, I slide the Kim double chopper around the rhexis edge contra-incissionally, hooking the lens from the distal side. I tilt the phaco tip vertically subincisionally, which acts like as a sharp leverage point. I'm able to stab the lens and then bring both instruments together because I'm holding it on either side. Again, with the chopper, I'm hooking it contra-incisionally, and then with the phaco tip, I'm stabbing from the surface. And because I'm able to engage the lens and grip it on both sides, I'm able to bring the instruments together and fracture the lens in half, and that is double chop. Again, it's a pure manual fracturing technique. I place the chopper around the right heminucleus, hooking the lens from the fornix, And then as I pull it towards the center, because the chopper is positioned deep, I'm able to crush it in half. And then the rest of it is just leveraging manual fracturing techniques to crush the lens into smaller and smaller pieces and emulsify the lens pieces. This patient had very little CDE use, considering the density of the lens, and this patient ended up having a clear cornea post-op day 1 and hopefully minimized any corneal endothelial damage in the process of the surgery. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I thank you for your attention.